You are sitting in a cafe. Your coffee is warm. Your phone is in your hand. You are not thinking about anything in particular. And then something shifts. Not a sound. Not a movement. Just a feeling. A pressure at the back of your skull, like a dot appearing in the dark. You look up. And someone across the room is staring directly at you. How did you know? You did not see them. You did not hear them. Your eyes were pointed at a screen. And yet something inside you turned a key, opened a door, and said, "Look up. Now." That feeling has a name. Researchers call it scopaesthesia. But the name is almost too small for what it really is. Because what just happened to you in that cafe is not just a neurological quirk. It might be something far older. Something far stranger. What if the dot at the back of your skull is not just a brain signal? What if it is a transmission? Think of your awareness like a field. Not a brain. Not a skull. A field. One dot. Expanding outward in every direction. Most of the time, you are only conscious of the information that reaches your five senses. But what if the field is wider than that? What if, under the right conditions, it picks up something the senses cannot explain? That is not a metaphor. That is a question scientists have been quietly asking for over 100 years. In 1913, a psychologist named Edward Titchener wrote about the feeling of being stared at and flatly declared it an illusion. He said it was confirmation bias. You look up at random, you occasionally catch someone staring, and your brain remembers the hits and forgets the misses. Clean. Rational. Settled. Except it was not settled. In the 1990s, biologist Rupert Sheldrake began running controlled experiments on the exact feeling you felt in that cafe. Thousands of trials. A subject sits with their back to a watcher. The watcher either stares or looks away, chosen at random. The subject guesses. No cues. No sounds. No mirrors. And the results came back at roughly 55% accuracy. That is above chance. Consistently. Across multiple countries. Multiple researchers. Multiple attempts to debunk it. 55% sounds small. But in a universe where the baseline is 50, that gap is enormous. That gap is a door left slightly open. What if that frequency is what you felt in the cafe? What if being stared at is simply one human field intersecting another, one dot touching another dot? And what your brain registered was not a signal from your eyes but a resonance in the field itself. Here is where it gets even stranger. There is a structure in your brain called the superior colliculus. It is one of the oldest parts of the human nervous system, dating back to our earliest vertebrate ancestors. And it has a remarkable property. It processes visual information before you are consciously aware of it. Before your eyes have finished moving. Before you have formed a thought. The superior colliculus can detect that something in your environment is directed at you and trigger a body response before your conscious mind has received a single update. This means part of you already knows. Before you know. Psychologist Colin Clifford at the University of Sydney has studied the neuroscience of gaze detection specifically. His research shows that the human brain has dedicated neural machinery for detecting when eyes are pointed at you, even from peripheral vision, even from a face you have not consciously registered. Your brain runs this scan constantly. Automatically. In the background, like a process you never opened. But here is what Clifford cannot fully explain either. His research accounts for peripheral visual detection. It does not account for the cases where the watcher is behind you, completely out of your visual field, where no reflected light, no peripheral shadow, no mirror could carry the information. And yet the feeling still comes. The dot still appears at the back of the skull. What is carrying that information? Some researchers say it is microsignals. Tiny sounds. Tiny air pressure changes. The body of a person shifting their weight as they turn to look. Your unconscious nervous system detecting that shift before your awareness catches up. That is a reasonable answer. It is probably partly true. But some researchers say something else entirely. They say that the human aura, the electromagnetic field that surrounds every living body, is not just a spiritual metaphor. It is measurable. The heart alone generates an electromagnetic field that extends several feet beyond the body. The brain generates one too. And electromagnetic fields interact. They overlap. They influence each other. What if sensitivity to another person's field is not psychic? What if it is just a sense we have not named yet? Every sense you have was once a mystery. The idea that invisible waves of air pressure could carry meaning was once incomprehensible. Now you call it sound. The idea that electromagnetic radiation across a narrow band of frequencies could form pictures in your mind was once unthinkable. Now you call it sight. What if there is another channel? One that moves not through air but through the field between bodies. And what if some people are better tuned to receive it than others? Think about the people in your life who seem to always know when something is wrong. Who call right when you are thinking of them. Who walk into a room and immediately sense the tension in it. You probably know someone like this. Maybe you are someone like this. What if that is not intuition? What if that is reception? A finer calibration of the same antenna everyone carries. In meditation traditions, this capacity is cultivated deliberately. Practitioners are taught to expand their awareness beyond the body. To feel the room. To sense presences without using the ordinary five senses. The Buddhist concept of sati, often translated as mindfulness, originally carried a broader meaning. A field of clear knowing that extends beyond the thinking mind. The yogic traditions of India speak of pranamaya kosha, a body of energy that surrounds and interpenetrates the physical body, and is sensitive to the energy of others. These traditions did not arrive at these ideas through guesswork. They arrived at them through thousands of years of careful, systematic inner observation. They treated the human being as a laboratory and consciousness as the instrument. And what they reported, again and again, across cultures, across centuries, with no contact between them, is essentially the same thing: you are not sealed inside your skin. You radiate. And you receive. What if the feeling in the cafe is a reminder of that? What if every time the dot appears at the back of your skull, your ancient body is performing a function it has always had, a function your rational modern mind barely has language for, a function that belongs to a version of you that existed long before cafes, long before phones, long before the word neuroscience was ever spoken? You are not just a brain processing inputs. You are a field. Alive. Moving. Sensitive in ways that no scanner has fully mapped. And the next time you feel someone watching you, before you dismiss it, before you explain it away, sit with it for 1 second. Feel where the dot is. Feel how certain it is. And ask yourself, what if the oldest part of me just picked up a signal the newest part of me does not have a name for yet? You looked up. You were right. That is not nothing. That is everything.